there and welcome to the channel today. Today we're going to be talking about the colour watermelon. I hope that you've actually been gaining benefit from the other videos on colour. Just a reminder that we've got a whole range of them on the colour playlist, and that the content you can access here is not limited and restricted to colours. And so the aim is that I'm just giving you some information that you might be able to draw upon and use and incorporate in your own life. Before I crack into the colour content for watermelon, I just want to remind people that I do invite feedback and comments and even questions, and I will always respond to them. And I also, of course, want to thank you in advance for being part of my journey. So the colour watermelon has actually been really difficult to replicate for this video. I've really struggled. At some times I've made it too pink, other times I've made it too orange and too apricot, if you like. So basically use your imagination here. When you do any of the activities, especially if they require visualisation activities, go by your own inner guidance of what is the right shade or hue. Basically, watermelon is a colour that's composed of the pinks of the heart chakra, which we see here in this image as the emerald green. Well, there's two aspects to the heart chakra. One is the emerald green colour and the other is the beautiful pink colour. And I'll go into the meaning of that later. And just a reminder here too that we actually have videos up on the chakras and what they mean. Anyway, going back to the shade of watermelon, it incorporates some of the yellows, and depending on the depth of the colour and the shade, it's got hues of the orange. If it's a pale watermelon colour, we're going to have a bit of white in there. And in regard to the pink itself, where the emerald is a colour more about the love of others. This is how I describe it. The emerald green is more about extending love and forgiveness to other people. The pink is more self-focused, and it's actually very important to address the pink, because there really is that saying of before we can love other people, we have to love ourselves. But the other way of looking at it too is that we have to fill our cup to be able to share it. And I learned this many years ago as a mother of children, is that when we allow our own inner resources, our self-esteem and all the rest of it to become depleted, then we are not able to support the needs of the small people around us. So we've got to keep the cup full. And this is what the colour watermelon works towards. It is actually about filling the cup and filling us with self-love and more. Let's get into it. So to put this into perspective, because it's associated with the heart chakra, it carries the qualities of compassion, affection, acceptance. It's very gentle, it's very kind, and quite often what we find is that when we're loving people and kind and caring people, we can extend this compassion, understanding and acceptance to other people in the awareness that, you know, they're on their journey, they're on their path, and the thing is, we don't always extend that compassion to ourselves. We don't always be kind and just go, okay, you know, I made a mistake, I erred, I made an error of judgment, but I'm growing, I'm learning and I'm developing. So we can be quite harsh and judgmental towards ourselves. So the healing qualities of the watermelon is actually about accepting ourselves, being kind, being affectionate toward ourselves. This is part of it, of course. The other part, or the other component of the colour watermelon, is that when we extend these attributes to ourselves, or when we're compassionate towards ourselves, we start to get more understanding, more insight, more self-awareness, and it reawakens joy. So it brings to the surface that joyous and playful aspect of our personality. And a lot of this is about being able to see things with fresh eyes, as opposed to looking at things, you know, through the stale, same old, you know, because when we, as we age and mature, shall we say, we see things, and the things that we see that are actually miracles of nature perhaps become ordinary because we've seen them so many times. So the part of reawakening joy means looking at things as if it was the first time that you ever saw them. And then you really start to appreciate what you're looking at. And the best way, I believe, of doing this is actually to spend some time with a small child, or to remember when you were a small child and the first time you saw something where you were amazed and awestruck. I mean, for example, I'm trying to think, it might be, I had to pause this while I thought about it and took my mind back to my own beginnings, or taking my small children out when they were very little. I used to take them down to a park, and the first time we saw a little tortoise swimming in the river, it was incredible. It was amazing. It was, just heartwarming to see a little tortoise. I mean, it sounds crazy, but the first time you see something, it is incredible. And for those of us that are in Australia that don't have access to snow, of course, the first time I saw snow, which I only saw it once actually, because it was only a light snow shower, if that's what they're called, that was absolutely incredible to me. The concepts of freezing water pipes, you know what I mean? It's hard, I suppose, for people that are around this all the time to imagine that that might inspire joy. But if we think of joy as light and laughter and feeling alive and all of that kind of stuff, you see, I went to the UK when I was a young adult, and I worked and lived over there. And it was just one mind-blowing experience after another. Having come from a hot climate, the whole concept of being able to walk out on ice and fall over, well, it's not joyous to fall over. There was so much laughter with that kind of stuff, finding out, like, goodness me, what's wrong with the pipes? Or having somebody say, be careful as I'm walking downstairs. And I'm like, I'm not too. I've walked down the stairs a lot of time. I'll be fine. And then all of a sudden, sliding down the last 7 steps and into the fence at the other side of the footpath, just leads to gales and gales of laughter, because it's like, oh, now I know what you mean. I thought I could walk, but apparently I can't walk on ice. You know what I mean? So it brings laughter in. Looking at things with fresh eyes takes away the staleness. And this is part of what watermelon does. It brings back joy into our life. And when we have joy, we're laughing. So what we're doing when we're working with the colour watermelon is we're actually reconnecting to that aspect of ourselves that is referred to as the inner child. We're opening up to that awareness again. And people with low self-esteem, loneliness and sadness have often carried really deep emotional pain, shall we say, from their early childhood. So the idea to heal this loneliness and this sadness is to reconnect and heal this inner child aspect. I will be putting up a video at some point in time. It will be a healing guided meditation on reconnecting with the inner child as part of healing it. But for the time being, this is a perfectly good exercise and activity that's coming up on how to connect with your inner child and to heal these inner child wounds, which is the capacity to bring joy into our life. So this is one way that you can actually heal and work with the inner child, and we call it reclaiming your inner child or finding your inner child. And that is to either visualize yourself as a small child, or find a photograph or a picture of yourself as a child between, say, the ages of 2 and 6, and ask this aspect of yourself. It sounds a little bizarre. I'm trying to think. It's really just about sitting there quietly, looking at this child and asking yourself, that inner child within, what is it that you would like to do today? What is a fun thing that I can do today? What can me do to feel happy and healthy? And another method is to visualize your adult self walking with your little inner child self, perhaps in a park or doing something that you enjoy. It could be at a stream or playing ball. And after you've finished, of course, you will say goodbye to it and promise to return and spend time with it again soon. The idea is, though, that you don't, the reason why you would sit there and ask yourself, this is creating that quiet space, it's an exercise in just allowing yourself to be and not trying to force. So when you sit there and you ask the image of yourself, what is it you would like to do today? And then you sit quietly, you allow that inner desire to come up, and it'll come into your mind, and it will be along the lines of, as I mentioned, going to the park, perhaps seeing a tortoise or whatever. And it is something that you will have found fun to do when you were a small child. Now, the other key part of doing these inner child activities or reclaiming them is not only do you want to bring joy back into your life and heal any of these childhood wounds, but you want to actually step up to the plate and be your own best caregiver. Okay, so for many people that may not have had a good mother or father role model, they may have been deprived of love in their early years or whatever, it's about making a commitment to yourself right now, here today, that you will take care of yourself. You will be your own best parent, your own best mother, your own best father, because you can be and you will be. Now, just follow your own guidance when you do these activities as well, but bring the colour of watermelon into this visualisation activity. Now, once again, it's down to personal comfort levels. You could visualise watermelon before you enter into the activity. You could visualize the color watermelon at the end of it while making this affirmation of, divine intelligence, please assist me to connect with the fun-loving part of myself and my enthusiastic nature so that I can carry and share more joy in my life wherever I go. From my perspective, I would be inclined to say this affirmation at the beginning of the activity, as a way of focusing my intention for the activity. And then, because it's difficult to split your mind in two and try and focus on, a colour as well as the thoughts and the sensations and all the rest of it, I would do the affirmation, I would do the visualisation of the colour, visualise myself in a bubble of it, and then I would look at the little image and go through the rest of the prompts that I've given you here of asking, what is it I want to do today that will bring more fun and more joy into my life? So anyway, that's just a couple of suggestions there for you. Please do leave your comments up if you've given it a whirl, if you gave it a try. Let me know how it worked for you. Or if you know of somebody else that has done the activity and they've got some feedback, feel free to put the comments up. Thank you. So, my friends and lovely ones, that is it for today. I've now given you all the information I can about watermelon. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you're a newbie, because I will be putting up a video at some point in time, which is a guided meditation to reclaim the inner child and to really fully open up to experiencing greater joy. Of course, this is working with colour is a wonderful way of doing it, but I do find that the meditation that I will give you for free is actually really exceptionally good as well, based on my experiences and feedback. But for now, I'm going to say love you, leave you. Thank you for being here. Take care. I'll catch you on the next video. Have a blessed week. Bye-bye for now.